of education and really supposed to be upholding, their values and embracing their own culture, bringing it to the classroom, and just being there present for students who look like them. And that's been a theme of all day for me, talking about the social studies standards. We have hit our preliminary goal. We went well, almost, yeah, we hit our goal, 1,200, right? We want to get to 3,000 signatures for our social studies standards petition. It's going to the CDE, and we really need folks to support us, because we're being collecting your voices and submitting them and letting folks know at the CDE that we support honest, inclusive, representative education, truth and ed. That's what we support. Great Ed does. And we are doing our work in the back end to make sure that those social studies standards that have been proposed do get pushed through. And so we're really looking forward to everyone contributing and just signing our petition. I'm going to type in the chat, hey, how you can just support us and sign our social studies petition. And Cody, from what I hear, we got a lot more things to push out. So I'll hand it over to you. What's happening for Great Ed Colorado? All right.
February is still up and running. We have so much that's been going on. And so thanks for folks who are listening in. But just like Annalise said, we're going to drop that link to in the chat for this social studies standards petition supporting honest and inclusive education, making sure that all groups are able to be recognized for their social contributions, for the work that they've provided to our communities, and just really making a more representative and holistic education for our students, and making sure that inclusion and representation matters every day of the year. And so just making sure that if you have already signed this petition, please share that with folks in your networks. The State Board of Education will be considering these standards revisions over the next couple of months, and we will continue to update them with how many folks sign this petition and share that out in community. And so just really want to make sure that your voice is heard as we support a more honest, inclusive education here for Colorado's youth. Also, we have been giving updates with folks in our Advocates Network meetings over a 2022 school funding ballot measure that's really taking shape, and something that I've been really excited about because our educators are saying, and have been saying for a long time, it's time to act. And one of the things that we're really excited to highlight, that one of our school superintendent leaders from Eagle County, Philip Qualman, wrote a letter to the legislature that was really well researched, and something that really shared the current state of education here in Colorado. And there were a couple of quotes from his letter to the legislature that really resonated with me. And I want to share those with folks if we have the time to share some quotes and highlight some educator voice. One of the things that Superintendent Qualman said in his letter that really resonated with me is he said in his letter, "I thrive with high expectations and high accountability. I'm ready to make our schools better and live up to any standards you propose, but understand that it's unreasonable to expect A+ results with D- resources." And so what is Superintendent Qualman talking about here? Colorado is 45th in the percent of taxable resources that we spend on education. I'll say that again. Of all of the taxable resources we could spend on education, we are 45th in the country. We're almost $3,000 behind the per pupil average in what we spend annually on our students. And he gives an example in his letter of a classroom of 25 students. Let's think about that. If we have $3,000 behind the national average for a class of 25 students, that's $75,000 a year of lost investment on that classroom alone, just if we were to make it to the average, just if we were to make it to that C. And so our students, our educators, our administrators, school support professionals, folks who have been on the front lines of this pandemic for the last couple of years, making sure that our students are supported, that our families have everything that they need in order for their students to thrive, no matter what schooling has looked like over the last couple of years. We need to show them that help is on the way, that we are here to support them, and that anything that the legislature does this year, we need to ask ourselves. And this is a question that Superintendent Qualman asks in his letter. Does the solution in front of us fit the scale of the problem? Are the things we're doing ambitious enough? Are these big enough investments? And when Colorado is the second strongest economy in the country, we should be far above the national average in what we're spending on our kids. So just really excited that Superintendent Qualman shared this letter with the legislature. And now we have an ask for you. We want you to email your legislators and ask them, have you read this letter? It was addressed to you. We're going to ask you to send this to your legislators, to Governor Jared Polis, and we're going to make it super easy for you. We're going to drop a link in the chat and in the comments. And if you click on this link, you'll put in just a little bit of information about yourself, and our system will find who are your legislators, and we'll have a preset email that you can send to them, or you can edit that letter, put in your own thoughts, share your story. It's so important that these contacts are personalized, that folks know, why does this matter to you as a public education supporter and public ed voter? And so we're going to make sure that that link gets into the comments. And please, please, please click on this link. Send this message to your legislator so that they read Superintendent Qualman's letter, and then they need to respond to you and say, what are they going to do about it? I'll pause there.
So just so you know, after our live, I will make sure that this petition is available on our homepage and our petitions page. So people will be able to sign for social studies standards and tell CDA, hey, we support it. And they'll also be able to tell legislators, you know what, it's time for a difference in education funding. We have it. People know we have the funds, and they're wondering, why are we so far behind in Colorado in education funding per
Absolutely.
Pupil?
And that's why we're definitely asking,
that's
right?
A lot.
We're asking folks
that's a whole teacher and plus.
Right? Exactly. And so we're asking folks to, my next ask is, after you email your legislators, there is something that we can do about supporting our legislators in finding sustainable resources that we can invest in K-12. And we can do that this year and in future years without raising taxes. And we've been talking about this idea of taking and unlocking money that is taxes we already collect and setting that aside as a priority for education. If we took just a third of 1% of the taxable income that's coming into our state and added that to what we spent on K-12 education, we would spend $800 million new dollars as soon as next year on K-12 education. And that's real, meaningful, sustainable resources for our students, for our educators. We're facing critical staffing shortages. We have empty educator roles. We are missing bus drivers, food service workers, folks who we need to pay a livable wage in order to support them living and serving in our communities. Our students deserve really strong mental health resources and supports. We've been hearing this from students for years, and it's come to a crisis point during the pandemic. And so we have an opportunity, and we're going to be continuing to update folks about how you can get involved at our monthly Advocates Network meeting, which our next Advocates Network meeting is on March 8th from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. So that's 2 Tuesdays from now. It'll be on Zoom, and the easiest way to get your Zoom link is to sign up and register. You'll register each month so that you can get your unique link for that month's meeting. And so if you go to greateducation.org/advocates-network, it's scrolling along the bottom of your screen right now. You'll be able to sign up and get, again, your personalized link, and you can join us to hear what can you do to move this ballot measure forward.
You know, I'm just feeling the energy right now, Cody. It's like cold outside, but our hearts are warm, full of fire.
Exactly. I am fired up.
You know, we're ready to continue to push forward. We've been working behind the scenes. We know so many people have been, you know, part of our efforts, and we're excited to continue to see you all coming for these Advocate Networks meetings. We know it actually has been effective. I mean, there's been tons of presentations even afterwards been requested. So, you know, whether people want to know more about the social studies standards being changed and how to, you know, talk to their peers, their friends, legislators, school boards. Hey, we have a presentation actually this Saturday. We have the Education Townhall 101
Yes.
or Education 101 Townhall, excuse me. I'm ready for school again. I need to be in these classes in session.
Yes.
But Lee and Valeria are going to be able to speak to how people can get involved with and just educate themselves on what's actually happening. And you're like, yeah, that's a good idea. Are there people opposing it? Yes. And so we want to galvanize that energy this Saturday, February 26th at 10 o'clock to 11:30. It's an hour and a half of your day. Really just spend it with us. And you can register on our website by using our website. Super easy, click, and you'll get a Zoom link as well, just because we want to be able to have this space free for learning and safe from the Zoom, folks who might infiltrate, whatever. So it's just a Zoom link, but it's easy. We've been Zooming for a while now. Everyone should get it. But it is a virtual town hall. We'll be able to hear from YASPA being able to share their research in DPS and efforts in APS. We also will hear, like I said, about social studies standards. And of course, we're going to make sure folks know about Superintendent Qualman's message and how they can take action there. So we have quite a bit of things for people to get involved with. And with joining the Advocates Network, that's how you stay in the know and are able to share the information accurately, right? Be honest in your education sharing what people need to know. And so I'm excited. So I'll see some folks on Saturday. I'm looking for folks to, really join in on that petition, telling their legislators, hey, we care about the funding in Colorado. Our kids deserve it. We have to stop what we've been saying. We have to stop debiting against our kids, right? Taking from the money that should go to education. And we know when you invest in kids, the result is just threefold, tenfold, as far as keeping that talent that you've built up in your city and state, keeping it local, and they just contribute back to society that built them up, right? The other piece I wanted to just highlight what you were saying. Just $3,000 is so much in comparison to what we know the pipeline to prison has been, invested. How much? Like $30,000 per inmate? Come on now. So it's just time that we continue to figure out what is wrong with our algorithm, right? If Facebook can change their algorithms and Instagram, we can too, right? We can change how our funding system is in education, that it truly can benefit our students first, educators, the academic community, and our state overall. So thank you, Cody. I'm going to get rid of the little ticker here. Do you have any other thoughts? I know you were looking at my t-shirt. I just want to highlight our favorite characters. It's Black History Month. So see if you notice, and you know what? The Proud Family's coming back. It's on today. Right? Yeah, they done brought them back. So can't wait to watch it. And anyways, I will be right on with you in March. I can't believe it's already March next week. But on March 8th is the Advocates Network meeting. Can't wait to join you there. But if folks just can't wait to hang out with Great Ed, you can join us on Saturday and learn some more about what's going on in different communities for in Aurora, repurposing those schools. And like I said, the social studies standards being reviewed and how people can support that. Anything else, Cody? What else you got?
There's a lot happening in education right now, locally, across the state. It impacts us all. And so just join our Advocates Network. We're doing our best to make sure that folks have relevant and opportune times to support public education with the things that are happening both in our communities and as a community across the state. So thank you so much for considering sharing some time with us. And we hope you find some benefit and value out of it. It's been really enjoyable for me, and it's our advocates who make it special. So thanks for the folks who have shown up, who have showed out at an Advocates Network meeting, who have come to multiple. And if this is your first time, you're welcome, and come on in and join us. There's always a new opportunity and a relevant opportunity to take action. There's so much going on.
There is. You know what? Just before we go, we have to mention the work through Advocates Network. We've brought so many different organizations and to hear our efforts and petitions, but we're actually supporting other endeavors, aren't we? Aren't there too?
Yeah.
Do you want to mention it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. How can we forget?
That's great. There's a couple bills in the legislature that Great Ed has been super proud to endorse, and just want to let folks know about them. There's a bill from one of our partners, New Era Colorado, that's working on banning withholding of transcripts from students who have unpaid fines and fees, or that punitive practice of a student who may have a gap in their education or may have taken some courses and they want to transfer and they have unpaid fees or fines. This would allow students to be able to access their transcripts and not have those withheld from them while they're working to pay off those debts, right? Often that ability to get a post-secondary degree, whether it's an associate's degree, a technical degree, a four-year degree, that is a meaningful opportunity to make a higher wage, a higher salary. And so we want to really interrupt that cycle of students not being able to reach their earning potential by having their transcripts withheld. And so I'm really excited that our partners are leading the charge on that. But we also have folks that we've been working with at Hunger Free Colorado. I'm just really excited that they've been leading the charge on universal healthy school meals for our students. That's Senate Bill 22-087, so Senate Bill 2287, to make sure that all of Colorado students can continue to have access to universal free meals. The federal government has been stepping in to help schools during the pandemic provide universal access to meals for all students. And so that's something that is so meaningful, right? If a student doesn't have their basic needs met, if they're hungry, if they're going right, students are growing. I taught middle school. Middle schoolers were always wanting a snack, right? Always needing that extra energy to make it through the day. But so we want to make sure that our students' basic needs are met, that if our students are in our care, that they're well fed so that they're ready to learn. And then also there's a really great program called the Ascent program, which if you haven't heard of that, it's a 5th year of high school for students who have taken a certain number of concurrent enrollment courses, and they have the opportunity to stay in high school for a 5th year and continue to earn college credit, which is a huge boost for folks to be able to access post-secondary learning where they otherwise might not be able to afford it. And so just some really great things happening across the state. And so just pay attention to your legislators. What are they saying about education? Are they offering opportunities for more accessible and more equitable education opportunities? Are all students prepared to graduate and lead their best lives? And are we resourcing the opportunities for our students and educators to get there? So just a couple of really great things that are happening from some of our partners. And so shout out to y'all who are working on those bills and continue that great work.
Yeah, see, we've been busy and we have been super supportive, and that's that energy. You know, we have the fire because we know everyone else is really looking out for the best interests of kids, and that's what we care for, right? We want to have kids ready to lead their best life, whether that's a trade, whether that's more school for college, being lifelong learners, you know, and then, you know, just giving back to their community, right? And being able to feel like they're ready to make the decisions that impact the rest of their lives. So thanks again, Cody, for keeping us in the know. And
yes,
you know, everyone, thank you for watching. And again, come to the Education 101 Town Hall at virtually on February 26th from 10 to 11:30. And of course, hang with the GEC Advocates Network crew. We're coming March 8th, so at 4:30. So we'll see you all then. Stay warm.